Adapt to circumstances, the state of a celestial being. Xiefeng. November 14, 2024. What does the state of a celestial being look like? It means accepting life as it unfolds, letting relationships evolve according to fate, acting in accordance with one's true nature, and seizing opportunities as they arise, without ego, without selfishness, and without attachment. This is to be a celestial being. The state thus manifested is the celestial state. This article is devoted exclusively to the celestial state of adapting to circumstances. To begin, let us read the Cold Kiln prose poem. The heavens are unpredictable, bringing both storms and fair weather. Human fortunes can change in an instant. A centipede with 100 legs cannot outpace a snake, nor can a rooster with 2 wings fly faster than a crow. A horse may be capable of covering 1,000 miles, but without a rider, it remains still. Likewise, a person with grand aspirations will fail to succeed without favorable circumstances. In life, true virtue remains unswayed by wealth or poverty. Confucius, the epitome of wisdom, once found himself constrained in the state of Chen. Jiang Zia, a brilliant strategist, spent his days fishing by the Wei River. Yen Yuan, a man of great virtue, met an untimely end despite his goodness, while Dao Ji, a notorious bandit, lived long despite his unrighteousness. Emperor Yao, wise and revered, begot a dissolute son, whereas the blind elder Gu So, though seemingly foolish, sired the filial sage Shun. Zhang Liang, originally a commoner, rose to become a great strategist. Xiao He, once a mere county official, ascended to prominence. Similarly, Yan Ning, though of short stature, served as prime minister of the state of Qi. And Zhuge Liang, residing in a humble thatched hut, became the military advisor of the Shu Han state. Even Xiang Yu, the mighty king of Chu, was eventually defeated and chose suicide at the Wu River, while the seemingly weak king of Han went on to rule an empire spanning 10,000 miles. Li Guang, famed for his tiger-slaying prowess, remained untitled in his old age. Feng Tang, blessed with extraordinary talent, was never recognized during his lifetime. Before Han Xian found his way, he endured days with barely 3 meals. Once fortune favored him, he bore the jade seal of command, yet when luck declined, he fell victim to treachery. Some rise from poverty to wealth, while others, despite early vigor, decline with age. Scholars of profound learning may grow old without recognition, whereas those of modest knowledge sometimes achieve early fame. In the fickle world of fortune, palace maids may fall into disgrace and become concubines, just as a lowly courtesan may later rise to become a noble lady. A youthful beauty may wed a foolish husband, and a handsome man might end up with an unattractive wife. A hidden dragon may lie concealed among ordinary fish, and a virtuous man, when unlucky, might have to submit to the base. Even when one's clothes are tattered, dignity must remain intact. Even if sorrow is etched upon one's face, a calm and composed heart should persist. When misfortune strikes, one ought to embrace humility and accept one's lot. A steadfast heart will eventually enable one to stand tall with pride. A noble soul in poverty remains upright, while a man newly enriched may still bear the marks of his humble beginnings. Without the right circumstances, even the sun and moon lose their brilliance. Without the proper time, grass and trees cannot thrive. Without harmony, waters churn with endless waves. Without fortune, human endeavors come to naught. Wealth and status are preordained, arranged by fate. Who does not desire honor and riches? Yet if one does not build upon one's inherent destiny, as reflected in the Batzi, or 4 pillars of destiny, how could one rise to the ranks of high officials or prime ministers? I once dwelled in Luoyang, begging for food by day and seeking shelter in a broken kiln by night. My scant clothing barely shielded me from the cold, and my meager meals could not satiate my hunger. I was despised by both the high and the low, not because I lacked worth, but because of my circumstances. Today, I stand in the court with a position of great honor. Although I bow to one superior, I rank above countless others. I wield the rod to discipline 100 officials and the sword to execute the mean and stingy. When I consider clothing, I now possess thousands of boxes of silk and brocade. When I think of food, I have access to delicacies of innumerable flavors. As I step out, robust men carry the whip on my behalf. Upon my return, graceful women present wine. The elite favor me, and the common people support me. People say I am noble, but this is not solely of my own doing, it is the result of time, fortune, and destiny. Alas, in this life, wealth should not be exploited to its fullest, nor should poverty lead to self-deception. We must yield to the eternal cycles of heaven and earth and embrace the natural flow of life. Having read the Cold Kiln prose poem, we recognize that adapting to circumstances is the optimal path to fulfilling our heart's desires with minimal cost. Even with ambition as vast as the sky, without fortune, one cannot succeed. So what should we do? Simply adapt to circumstances. Consider Li Guang, whose tiger-slaying prowess did not earn him titles in old age, and Feng Tang, whose immense talent went unnoticed throughout his life. Without the proper time, the sun and moon lose their radiance. Without the proper time, grass and trees fail to flourish. Without the proper time, the wind and waves remain unsettled. Without the proper time, even human endeavors and favorable opportunities do not materialize. When fortune is unfavorable, it is best to embrace life as it comes. What does it mean to adapt to circumstances? It means that if you are presented with a lavish banquet, you savor it. If all you have is sweet potato soup, you drink it without complaint. Enjoying simple steamed cornbread with pickled vegetables as a delicacy, that is adapting to circumstances. It means that if you live year-round in a frozen tundra, you focus on mere survival without resentment. If you reside in a place where every day feels like summer, devoid of the blossoms of spring or the snows of winter, you find serenity without bitterness. It means being born, raised, and living your entire life in one place without ever traveling far, yet finding contentment without longing for what you lack. Furthermore, it means that whether you are surrounded by companions, enjoying the delight of interaction, even with the opposite sex, or spending long stretches in solitude, even a decade without such interactions, you remain cheerful and content. Whether you live in a bustling, vibrant city or in a remote mountain village, if your heart is at peace, you are truly adapting to your circumstances. It also means accepting life's ironies. If you yearn for one outcome but receive another, if you dream of transcendence yet remain bound to the mundane, if you wish to be in Rome but find yourself in New York, if your heart longs for the second home yet cannot shake off worldly attachments, then, by maintaining a cheerful and composed spirit, you embody the very essence of adaptation. Even when others are handsome and graceful, and you feel plain, when others enjoy robust health and smooth fortunes, and you are beset by misfortune, when others hail from honored, affluent families and you remain poor and unsupported, if you can still remain calm and free of resentment, that is what it means to be content with one's circumstances. In summary, to lead a life of ease and freedom, unburdened by excessive ambition or despair, where you accept whatever comes, follow the natural flow of fate, and remain untroubled by the pursuit of wealth or the sting of poverty, is to embody true contentment. To witness others building grand mansions, driving luxurious cars, strutting down red carpets, having multiple wives and concubines, and becoming renowned throughout the world, and yet feel neither envy nor undue admiration, remaining unmoved, is to be truly at peace with one's situation. This contentment forms the foundation for personal progress. A solid, stable base enables one to remain calm and composed, handle matters with ease, maintain clarity of mind, and focus time on what truly matters. Only then is there hope of gaining favor from the heavens and seizing opportunities to ascend to a higher realm of life. Moreover, such contentment nurtures a positive mindset. When the mind is undisturbed, one can discern the proper direction and persistently dedicate time, energy, and intellect to one's aspirations and ideals. Continuous learning, relentless accumulation of knowledge, and patiently waiting for the right opportunity, much like waiting for the ugly duckling to transform into a swan, are the marks of true perseverance. Do not rush, do not seek shortcuts, and do not give up. As the saying goes, just as a rope can saw through wood and water can wear through stone, those who seek the way must exert themselves. When the melon is ripe, it falls from the vine, and when the water flows, a channel is formed. Those who have attained the Tao simply follow the natural course of things.